Hey everybody, it's Thursday, March 12th, 2026. Welcome to the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast, where we've decided not to throw out our pro day. It's me, your man, MG Marcas Grant, joined by Michael F. Florio and LaQuan Jones. I saw pro day stuff. I mean, I'm sure they've been going on for a while. I've kind of, maybe it's nothing I should say out loud, kind of like, not avoided it, but haven't really locked into pro days. I don't know.
Kai Lemon.
I saw he ran a 4.53. I'm like, okay.
I don't know. I'm still leaning Jordan Tyson if I'm a Rams fan.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing, and that's fine, right? I think, so we had the whole, there's that whole kerfuffle at the combine about, somebody who might have run a 4.53 versus a 4.48 or whatever.
Tape. Yeah.
Arguing over hundredths of a second is one of the dumber things we do now.
I try to purposely avoid, I understand that it's going to impact draft capital, and that's where I think it matters for us, because draft capital does lead to more opportunity and stuff like that. But in the last couple of years, I've tried to really block it out and just watch them play football and make my opinions based off that.
I mean, I think we as a group, as a people, are getting smarter about this, that if you watch a guy on tape and everything on his tape says he has the tools to be successful, like he was able to succeed at the college level against all levels of competition, blah, blah, blah. Running a 4.53 shouldn't change your mind about that. So I hope we're getting smarter. That's all.
Sure.
No. Nonetheless, Michael and Roar ran a 4.53, and I'm sure it's going to be a topic of conversation for like the next 3 days. Thankfully, the weekend's coming. Anyway,
hey,
we are still talking about the free agency frenzy, which, side note to all that, the league year actually opened yesterday, and there was really nothing to report because everything had already happened. Like 48
we had kicker
hours
news
and
that. Punters getting signed.
There's been a lot of kicker and punter news in this free agency
trades?
cycle.
Like what?
A lot of kicker news, a lot of punter news this free agency cycle.
I love
Did not have that on my bingo card.
Rand picked up a long snapper. He's good. He's signed.
Right.
So, special team. Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to y'all. Should let the listeners know we're not going to be talking about any of that on the show today.
Nor should we.
That's going to be
I think we're anti-kicker defense in lineups.
Two-thirds of us are. Two-thirds of us are.
Okay.
One of us
Marcus
still
is
wants
pro
kickers.
kickers.
I'm pro
If it was
kicker.
up to Marcus, we'd be talking kickers all day.
My home
That's
league.
it, man.
I know you're listening. One of you are listening. We need to vote this out. Like I
am
need
just look. I'm on pins
out.
and needles over the Brandon Aubrey situation. Are the Cowboys going to get this done?
Defense is getting blown out because they're riddled with injuries. I mean, the Lions gave me negative points.
Hey man,
it's come on.
I'm EA Sports, man. If it's in the game, it's in the game. I mean, let's do this. It's still part of the game. Here's
I want another flex. That's all. I just want one more flex.
And that's fine. You can do that and keep kickers. Like, my whole argument is, nobody ever gives me an argument against kickers besides, I can't project them. So what?
My kicker's on a bye. I need to hit the waiver wire. I have to use a priority for that? No.
All right, replace kicker with quarterback. My quarterback's on a bye. I got to get a new one. All right, that's life, man.
I can get a quality quarterback that I know.
I became tough for everybody.
Permanently anti-kicker when in the playoffs one year, my lineup outscored my opponents by 15, but his kicker outscored mine by 18, and I lost because of that. So,
hey man, them's the breaks.
I was like, I never want to do this again.
But if that's the argument that we should get rid of PPR for all those Wan'Dale Robinson, Julian Edelman 17-point days when
but you got to give Wan'Dale.
I've mentioned it on here, but I want to meet with web designers or app designers or the overlords of fantasy football, and I just want to make it where it is PPR based on air yards, right? So if it's a dump off, you get no points. If it's a 5-yard air yard pass, you get 0.25 or 0.5, and then it increases.
Boo. No, leave PPR alone. Don't touch it. Just let it be. Let it be its thing. It's
not all catches are
standard.
Equal.
Yeah.
That's
so
true.
what? He caught the ball. Reward me.
Man.
1 point.
Nah, man.
This is because
that's
LaQuan
garbage.
loves small slot receivers, and that's their
we
bread and
love
butter.
small slot wide receivers.
Because he wants to keep drafting the Tutu Atwells and Greg Dortches of the world. That's why.
First of all, Greg Dortch was a thing. Tutu
For like
Atwell
3
did not
weeks,
work out
man.
well last season.
For
But
like 3 weeks.
It was more than 3 weeks in totality of when he flashed in the fantasy realm. Okay? When DeAndre Hopkins, Marquise Hollywood-Brown was hurt, who would they go to? Who was the most reliable target out of that wide receiver group? It was Greg Dortch, ladies and gentlemen.
All right. Anyway, this was not how the
When
show
all
was
the
supposed
other
to
guys
start,
weren't
but here we
there, he
are.
was the guy.
Right, exactly.
Hey.
When everybody else got
Drew
Thanos.
Petzing refused to use him, okay? He refused to use him because they didn't run the 3 wide receiver sets as often. It's fine.
When
Okay?
Thanos struck, Ant-Man became the greatest Avenger. Like, this is what we're doing here. This is what we're doing here, all right?
Don't do that to Ant-Man. Oh, my God.
Anyway, a
love you,
lot of
Paul.
news that has happened since we last talked to you. We'll also kind of catch up on some things that sort of hit late in the show last time around that we can maybe dive into a little bit more. Plus, some of our favorite moves, least favorite moves, and some kind of early winners and losers, obviously subject to change. This first thing doesn't have immediate fantasy impact, but it was kind of the biggest news of the day when it happened. That being the Ravens deciding, nah, we're good on giving you 2 first-round picks for Maxx Crosby. Friendship ended with Maxx Crosby. Trey Hendrickson, now my best friend. He signs with the Baltimore Ravens, leaving the Cincinnati Bengals. The Raiders end up losing about $30 million in cap space, plus they lose those 2 first-round draft picks that they got. This Florio sort of changes kind of how free agency goes, right? I mean, the Raiders went out, they spent big on defense. They obviously still have the number 1 pick. But, I feel like this is going to have some ripple effects, not just on the Baltimore and Vegas side, but, maybe who else gets targeted, right? Trey Hendrickson might not have gone to Baltimore. Well, would not have gone to Baltimore if this had happened. This is sort of impactful, I think.
Yeah, it sounded like he was going to be a Colt. And then who knows if the Colts give all that money to, it was a ripple effect here. But it might not be over with because, yes, the Raiders lose $30 million. And I know Maxx Crosby is tweeting like, I'm back and like I'm a Raider for life or something like that. But I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to try to shop him. The issue, though, is now that like a lot of teams that were interested, I know the Bills came out and they were like, we were interested, but our cap situation isn't what it was when we were interested 2 weeks ago. Like a lot of these teams that had an interest in Maxx Crosby were like, well, we missed out on him. We got to spend that money somewhere else. And I put this out on Twitter. I'll say it exactly how I put it on there. I don't have sources. I'm not talking to people in the Ravens organization or anything like that. But just as someone who reads the tea leaves and follows this pretty closely, felt like to me that they were like, we could have had Trey Hendrickson for Maxx Crosby money without giving up our 2 first-round picks. And then they were like, we don't like the way his knee looks. And then they spun because there was no word about we wanted both of these guys until after it all happened, and like if I was trying to spin it, I'd be like, you know what? Why don't we just tell them we were in on both like that? And we're upset. Our plans got ruined. Like that's what it felt like to me.
You know what's crazy though? Like we've seen an example of a player getting a physical and it's not being great, right? And like you would think the player gets shit back, but look at Brett Favre when he got traded from Atlanta to the Packers. Like he had a hip injury, a very serious one. But first year GM Ron Wolf was like, no, pass him. And they got him. And that truly showed that you believe in the player and you actually wanted the player. And I think the Ravens pulling this is exactly what Florio said. They were like, oh, we can keep our picks and then get Trey Hendrickson.
There was also
Gotcha.
common knowledge that Maxx Crosby had just had offseason surgery, but all reports were that he was on track to be ready to go for the start of the season. So
Can you imagine Max
feels
just
a
sitting
little
in a room and they all huddled up together like, all right, we're going to do plan B. Like that's just what it just looked like and felt like.
I'm going to give a shout out to our boy Ian Rappaport because when it happened and they were like, oh, well, we didn't know the knee was this bad. He posted, he was like, from Super Bowl Sunday, my article saying that Maxx Crosby had a meniscus cleanup and not, a small procedure or whatever. And then everything that I've read and heard and watched, was like, yeah, there's no way he was going to pass a physical because his knee is not intact right now. And you knew that when you traded for him. And like, this is the third time in the last 8 years that the Ravens have done this. I know I had a lot of Ravens fans in my mentions being like, stick to what you know. And like, you weren't there. And what are they supposed to just accept his medical? And like, this feels like a you problem. You know, it's not happening to other teams.
Yeah, that's it. It feels a little bit wonky. I'm curious to see how many teams are going to be willing to trade with the Ravens in the upcoming future.
Poor Max was in Baltimore.
Yeah, man.
Yo, did you see the Instagram post? Like, he was happy.
Well, I hope he enjoyed the Inner Harbor. Maybe
he went on his pod being like, I'm going to do everything I can to bring a dude shaved his head. Like, they were in way too deep to get out of this.
I'm not 100% certain. That felt like trolling for engagement a little bit, the head shaving thing. I don't know. It was funny. I'm not gonna lie, it was funny. It also felt like trolling for engagement.
You have a Manchester United fan right now that's waiting for us to hit 5 in a row to cut his hair. So the anti-shaving, but his hair is insane. His afro is literally this big right now.
I thought it was you.
No.
I was like,
there's an actual Manchester United fan that's right now, he's waiting for us to hit 5 in a row, and then he'll shave his head.
You know what? This close, going to dye his hair blonde, and then they're just so happened going to win their 5th game that day, and it just goes right off.
Yeah,
No, stop.
We might have to get to that a little bit later. We got a lot of to talk about on the show today, but maybe we'll get that in too. Elsewhere, Kyler Murray has been released. All signs point to him signing with the Vikings. I know everybody's like, hey man, this could be interesting. KOC is a quarterback whisperer, to which my pushback is, if he's such a quarterback whisperer, why are we moving on from JJ McCarthy? But that's another conversation. LaQuan, there's a part of me that is like, okay, maybe this is interesting. And there's also a part of me that's like, maybe Kyler just is mid now, right? That like, maybe it doesn't matter where he goes, that he's just an average quarterback at this point, that we've seen the best of him go by. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy. I mean, like, when we think about this from a fantasy standpoint, like, are you exactly interested in Kyler Murray as a Viking? Like, are you looking to draft him? Are you looking to pull him off the board as your QB1? Like, my biggest question with him is, like, is he running, right? Like, we need him back to being able to have over 700 yards on the ground and be able to extend the plays in the magic-like type that we've seen him where he's made big plays. Like, I think that is still in there in him, but in Minnesota, it may be a little bit watered down because I honestly think, like, now we're looking at Justin Jefferson, right? We had the conversation last episode, like, where does this put him in the first round? Like, it does move him up a little bit, but it's like, I still don't feel good about having Justin Jefferson as my wide receiver 1 now with the carousel of, hey, we got Kyler Murray. Great. You know, like, it just feels like you got me socks for Christmas. Thanks, Grandma. Like, it doesn't feel great, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to get myself psyched up about Kyler Murray in Minnesota, and I'm not really there because
I think I can make a case.
Okay, please.
So I think what you guys are saying is in the realms of possibility, right? Like, this just might be Kyler. I'd also, though, say I think he's going to get a huge system upgrade. Like, I just trust KOC more than Drew Petzing the last couple of years. And like, that's not even a shot at Petzing. It's just like KOC has elevated quarterbacks not named JJ McCarthy before. But on top of that, in the last few years, right? Like, Kyler only played 5 games this past year. 17 games in 2024. The 2 years before that, he tore his ACL and then was coming back from a torn ACL. So in the last 4 years, we really only have one full season of Kyler Murray. And if you remember that year, that was when everyone was pushing Kyler up to be top 5. And he was like the new hot thing, right? Like, everyone was clamoring for Kyler Murray. He finished as a top 10 fantasy quarterback that year in points per game and total points, but he didn't live up to our lofty expectations. So we acted as if that was a terrible year and we punished him for it. I don't think I'm never going to view Kyler as we did a few years ago, right? Where like, I'm taking him top 5 and I'm really excited for him and all of that, but I don't think it's going to cost that to get him. So if he's costing me a low-end QB1 price, or maybe even a little bit cheaper than that, it's easy for me to get excited because we've never seen Kyler play a full year and not finish as a QB1.
I think he's gonna be lower than that. I think he's outside the QB1 range.
I'll take him there.
Just because there's so much unknown.
Those weapons.
Yeah, I mean, like everything you say is fine. I don't disagree with any of it. I just, I feel like I will have my quarterback or quarterbacks before I am looking at Kyler Murray at this point. That. I think I'm just burned out. I think I'm just burned out.
I think Kyler fatigued though because he's never been what we've wanted him to be, and it's easy to envision him being that. But hey, Sam Darnold, we didn't think was going to be what he was with the Vikings.
True. We also weren't drafting Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
it just happened. A couple other notes before we hit a break. Brandon Ayuk expected to be released. Welcome to the Commanders.
Dun.
Welcome to the Commanders. I mean, that's kind of all I got on that one. We'll see what happens.
But when?
I don't know.
They're holding him hostage.
I think
they want to get something for him.
I think there's still something there with Brandon Ayuk. Like, I think he's still a talented player. You gotta. I think his problems are all from the neck up. I think that's mostly what it is.
Does he play more than half a season?
Yeah, he'll be with his buddy Jaden Daniels.
Are you drafting him if he is a Commander? That is the real question.
It's a question of where.
Doesn't matter.
If I'm drafting him as a starter, absolutely not. But if I could draft him in the reserve rounds, absolutely yes.
Yes, 100%.
I mean, everything has a price. Okay, cheap is cheap, cheap is free. Okay, I look at it as I don't want to waste a draft pick. How I'm looking at it, because again, this seems like it's just a weird relationship of this exit, right? Like, I don't know if we are exactly going to see the best of Brandon Ayuk, because how many years has it been? Before he got injured, those 7 games he played, we were looking at him like, yo, are you going to play? Like, you got paid. Are you good? Like, are you going to be able to be the wide receiver when you think you are? That talent that we saw wasn't exactly in those first 7 games, and then he gets hurt. Now we're in fast forward. He hasn't played football in a very long time. What level of football are we expecting him to get with the Commanders? What is he getting off the street?
I mean, I think that's fair, but I also think he's going to be motivated. And we've seen when a motivated, healthy, happy Brandon Ayuk is out there, he really had pushed aside Deebo Samuel and George Kittle to some extent as the number 1 target when he was motivated and ready to go. Then, for whatever reason, he just decided he didn't want to be there no more. And, we kind of endured the last couple of years. I don't know. I mean, I don't have an answer to that question. I really don't.
Did less than 5 people believe in him?
Even when they signed him, he was like, I don't want to be here. Like, right. He's been wanting to play with Jaden Daniels now for seemingly ever, it feels like. But the reason I say like, oh, if he's cheap, like a reserve round pick, I'm 100% in, is I can't forget that 2023 season where it was truly like the most, like, he had the most yards ever of any player with 105 targets, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly. So, like, it's hard for that to get out of my head.
And what was the motivation?
He was finally happy. He got paid. He was happy. I mean, now like he's going to get to play with his best friend, potentially. So that might be enough.
You think he's going to go to where he finally wants to play and then be like, I don't want to play?
I mean, it could happen.
Or I can't play.
I'm not going to say no.
Or I can't play. Like, that's just what it is.
I think you get 1 year at least. Yeah, I think you get at least 1 year of him being happy in DC, and then maybe things change after that. Who knows?
And he's got a good quarterback there. They got chemistry already. So but again, I'm not using a premium, like a valuable pick on him. It would have to be
absolutely not,
like as one of my bench receivers.
Absolutely not. A couple of backup running backs signed that could potentially be trouble in fantasy. The Chargers signed Keaton Mitchell, formerly of the Ravens. Florio's had bad news for Omarion Hampton.
When I saw it, my reaction was like, I don't love this because Keaton Mitchell kind of reminds me a lot of Kamani Vidal, though, who is also there. Like, very fast runners, kind of chunk play runners. And I've said on this pod for a while now, like, I think Keaton Mitchell is a lot better than he gets credit for. But he's also kind of limited, right? Like, he's never showcased a ton to be used in the passing game. I think the Chargers, after seeing what their offense and particularly the running game was without Omarion Hampton last year, they were like, we need more juice behind him. So maybe he eats into his workload a bit, but I still think Hampton, I'm really, really excited for Omari and Hampton. Not just the Mike McDaniel being there and all the passes that they throw to the running backs. The Chargers have basically, they've added a bunch of depth and starters to this offensive line. They're obviously going to have their tackles back, hopefully, and healthy next year. But they added like Charlie Kohler and Alec Ingold, which I know don't move the needle on its head. Like no one is excited to draft those guys in fantasy, but they're great run blockers and they're great blockers after the catch. And that opened up so much for Devon Achane that I'm just dreaming of a world where Omari and Hampton is going to get used in the passing game a lot. And he's going to be more than likely a top 10, top 12 running back for me in my rankings.
Ooh, okay. All right. I like that. That's a conversation. It's kind of spicy, but I like it. I'm not opposed. The other thing, Jaguars sign Chris Rodriguez, formerly of multiple places, I believe. LaQuan, is that bad news for Bashal Tootin? More importantly, is that worse news for LaQuint Allen?
First of all, I'm mad you brung up LQ. But at the end of the day, right, I know the immediate reaction is like, okay, Liam Cohen gets back with his boy, you know, and a running back that he, you know, coached in Kentucky. Like, yeah, cool, great. I mean, he had 1,300 yards in that season. But I look at this as like now Liam Cohen's starting to get his running back picture formed, okay? So he's starting to get that 1-2 punch in his vision. Like Travis Etienne was already there as the workhorse. Like we knew at the end of the day, Tootin had talent. Tootin has the ability to be explosive at times. We saw him used in the goal line area a ton, and he had a lot of success. So I think that Chris Rodriguez will have his role, and so will Tootin. Like, we'll have that 2024 type season where we had a Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White, both fantasy relevant, both top 24 running backs that season. So I'm looking more so of, like, have your expectations for Tootin as, like, he'll have some strong RB2 weeks because of the scoring opportunities that he gets.
John Shipley, who does a great job covering the Jaguars, sort of made the point that he thinks it could be kind of a three-headed attack where, you know, you've got Rodriguez and Tootin sort of taking the bulk of it, but Allen kind of getting in there potentially as kind of a grinder as well. Basically, his takeaway was, I think it's going to be really good for football. Fantasy's probably going to hate it. So that is, you know, kind of something to keep in mind for that. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, yeah, fantasy's going to hate it because it's not Tootin getting max workload. That's what most people want from these running backs, where it's like we're ignoring the trend of these backfields of being a 1-2 punch, and we're seeing it done on a successful level. So why can't this not be a product of that when we have the successor in Liam Cohen who's calling the shots?
I don't think it's going to be a 1-2 punch. I think my fear is it's going to be a three-headed monster, and that's the thing we have not figured out. That's the thing that we do not like. A 1-2 punch, yeah, we can figure that out. That's fine. The question is LaQuint Allen still going to be a part of this? And if it's a three-headed backfield, then I'm out. That's it.
Team Tootin here.
I mean,
we're all rooting for Tootin.
I'm fine rooting for Tootin. I just need to know it's just going to be him and
the good thing Rodriguez. Is you won't have to pay a premium price for Tootin. Like last year, we were paying what? Tank Bigsby, Tootin, and Travis Etienne close in ADP. Like, that's probably what it'll end up being with Chris Rodriguez and Tootin. Like, you're not going to have to pay these premium prices for them to get
I thought invested. We would have to pay a premium to get Tootin after Etienne left. And then I saw the reaction with the Chris Rodriguez signing, and I was like, cool, let me take him for cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of what it is. I just hope that it's enough for Tootin that it's still worthwhile. In that, again, like LaQuint Allen is potentially the fly in the ointment here. Like, if he doesn't have to be great, he just has to get enough to make us angry. And I'm worried that that's what's going to happen. So we'll see. Few things that hit late in our most recent show. Wanted to kind of circle back and talk about them a little bit. One, the Colts and Daniel Jones finalizing a 2-year deal worth $88 million. Could be worth, I think, with incentives up to $100 million potentially, which I know that Jones said he wanted to get $50 million per. So he has the potential to do that if he hits some of those incentives. LaQuan, that means your Riley Leonard dream is dead, correct? It's over.
No. Why do you think it's over? Why would it be over?
Because you're not playing Riley Leonard over a healthy Daniel Jones. Not with that investment.
And the way the contract looks, it looks like they gave him a nice $44 million signing bonus saying thank you for your services last year, but you're not hitting or killing the books this year.
I don't think that's it.
No. I'm not saying that they're going to ship him. I'm just saying there's no rush back for him to get back on the field. It's an Achilles injury, folks. They have what they're looking for in-house in Riley Leonard. Like, we really need to start mapping this out, okay? He's 29 years old, coming back from an injury. We just saw Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins not really perform at a high level to be able to
much more
be
advanced
a 50
age.
million. He's 29. Is he going to be mobile? Is he going to be as mobile? Because even last year, Daniel Jones wasn't running as much. And if you were trying to run an offense where you can attack downfield and have some mobility, Riley Leonard is your quarterback. You give him a shot. You give him an opportunity. No, this has been before that. This has been the belief because, again, what they're looking for is literally in Riley Leonard. There's nothing you could tell me different from what you can say an Achilles returning injury from a quarterback that is semi-mobile, who wasn't even mobile last year. He didn't run as much. To somebody that is more dangerous in open space as a runner that has some Josh Allen attitude to him if you turn on the tape and watch him run. Like, he's able to be that quarterback they want him to be.
If they had paid Daniel Jones like last year and then he tore his Achilles, maybe there'd be some legs to this. But he's torn it already, and they gave him almost $100 million for 2 years. Like, he's their guy the next 2 years. But they have an out in 27. No, they have an out in 27 to where they can save 38 and cut him. The roster, huge
they have
dead cap number.
Listen, we've seen people eat dead cap these last couple of days where it's like, hey, look at
that was a nuclear option, man. For Miami. That was the absolute
like
nuclear
we've seen
option.
it done. So, okay, the Rams were in cap hell and dead cap when we had Clay Matthews, Todd Gurley still on the books. The Jared Goff trade, like these things have all happened. These teams know how to navigate through cap.
You paid Todd Gurley, and then he had the knee issue, and then that, like, the Colts knew what they were getting themselves into before giving him this deal.
A 29-year-old quarterback that is reliant on having the mobility is now gone in an Achilles injury.
I am not a Daniel Jones fan. I've made that clear. I was
last year, but
I think they overpaid him. I thought last year he started hot, and then I was like, I don't believe this at all, and he became the Daniel Jones that we know and love. I get all of that, but they're not going to give someone $50 million to play for them this year and then be like, we're going to sit you for a guy that we've already watched practice for a whole year.
So let's say this. If Daniel Jones, right, he comes in and he's not playing up the part, he turns into the pumpkin that we saw last season, right, on the back end, right? He's not playing well. He's not as mobile. He doesn't have the mobility in the pocket to extend the plays. You're telling me they won't bench him and play Riley Leonard, being somebody that is healthy, a 23-year-old guy, his last year at Notre Dame? Oh, let me backtrack, okay? In the last 10 years of college football, how many quarterbacks you think threw the ball 400 times and ran 900 yards in a single season?
I mean, I guess
how many?
3, 4? Probably not many.
It's only 2.
Okay.
Lamar Jackson, who did it twice, and Riley Leonard.
We're not going to sit here and compare Riley Leonard to
we
Lamar
are.
Jackson.
And again, all right, Lamar Jackson ran more in those seasons.
We're not doing that.
He put a little bit more air on the ball, 3,500 yards in both seasons. He did it. But Riley Leonard threw the ball 400 times. So that shows that he has the ability to get out of the pocket with the 900 yards and get the yardage and be a threat in the red zone with his legs as well, by the way. 17 rushing touchdowns. You're telling me
there's just not
with somebody
I know
with
that's
this
your
on
guy.
the utility
There's
belt.
There's not a world
with this
where
on the
they're
utility
like,
belt.
We're gonna pay this guy franchise quarterback money.
You paid him up front. You gave him $44 million. It's in his pocket. Thank you for what you did last year. But you are a $14 million cap hit this year.
NFL teams don't pay you for past performance. They pay you for future expectations. Like, that's just not how things work.
There was no world where they were like, thank you for
money.
last year. Here's $40 million.
He doesn't get a chunk of that money. That base salary until 27. He is not healthy right now. Why are we going to have him kill the cap this year, expecting him week 1 to be what we saw in the first 10 weeks?
He might not be ready week 1, but when he is ready and able, there is no world where
all I'm doing is
opening
the door that in this time frame of today until week 1, Riley Leonard has a chance to make noise in camp and actually take that job from Daniel Jones. And they have an out in 27.
He's not taking the job from Daniel Jones.
Okay.
He's not taking you think Riley Leonard is going to
pick, man.
Look at the Houston game against starters. Daniil Hunter, In that one game, he came in. No, he came in for an injured Daniel Jones against the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
Yes.
He made mistakes in that game, but he did not. I would tell you, stink up the place. There was hope. There was belief. And again, I know how that Houston game ended. It ended nasty. Like, we're not going to talk about,
we are going to talk about it.
But at the end of the day, he still had 2 of those touchdowns, right? 2 of those touchdowns came against the starting big bad of the South, Texans. That defense still had a Derek Stingley because that second touchdown that Kyrie put in the highlights, last show.
Didn't the Texans already have everything clinched up that game?
Listen, they came back in that game. And listen, they put up 30 points in that game. That is the most points the Colts put up since week 10 with a healthy Daniel Jones. So again,
okay, so they didn't do it with Phillip Rivers.
Because they wanted immediate production. I understand why you go out and call a familiar face, somebody who used to be a Colt. Yes, because you think he's going to come in and be able to bring that fire because he already has it between the eyes. They were not going to willing to let the rest of the back end of that season with playoff contentions look to a rookie that is not fully ready.
Why did they?
Because he has
that
time
$40
now.
million was a thank you for last season. Why wouldn't they just let him walk? They didn't have to give him a cent.
Did we see the market? Did we see the market? And there's still
no. But if they have Riley Leonard, their future guy,
your argument is Riley Leonard.
They don't know that yet. It's all opportunity right now. If you look at what he's flashed and what's on his utility belt,
that's a lot of money.
They better pay attention.
But
that's a lot of money on a guess.
We're saying they don't know yet. They know him better than we do. They are with him every single day. They are watching him play every single day, and they made this decision.
Because who else were they going to get? Who else?
If Riley Leonard was flashing that
Kyler
much
Murray
for
$1 million. Or if Riley Leonard's your starter, bring in Kirk Cousins.
It's a lot of money on a guess. That's a lot of. I didn't really think we were going to spend this long on Riley Leonard. I had no idea.
He has the tools.
Look, I'm not saying he can't play. I'm saying there's not a world where they're going to play him over Daniel Jones after giving Daniel Jones his contract.
If Daniel Jones isn't healthy, as Daniel Jones is stinking out the place, it is week 6. You're telling me they're not going to pull the plug for Riley Leonard, or they're going to call Phillip Rivers again? What do you think is the better scenario that will possibly happen?
But even in that scenario, that doesn't mean Riley Leonard won the job. That means Daniel Jones lost it. That's what that means. That's what it means.
Or what I'm saying is that the window is open now. He has opportunity to make as much noise as possible in camp. Because, listen, if they go out and sign another quarterback, say they sign Jimmy G, say they sign like a Carson Wentz, right? Then I'll be like, okay, we're in trouble. But that has not happened yet. They paid Daniel Jones. They are looking at Riley Leonard as their backup because I know somebody in that building has the eyes and look at his utility belt knowing he can.
That's fine. He's their backup. Yes.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. He's their backup.
Riley Leonard will be making noise.
And if something goes wrong with Daniel Jones, then Riley Leonard plays. That is how backups work.
From the legendary Joe Hendry, don't tell me it's not possible because anything is possible when you believe. Okay? Riley Leonard has
a dream is a wish your heart makes
when
you're fast asleep. Yeah, man, I watch Disney movies too. I'm just... Okay, anyway. The Patriots, they signed Romeo Doubs to a 4-year contract. I know when it first happened, we were all like, ooh, yeah. Then part of me was like, is Romeo Doubs really just another wide receiver too? Like, are they just collecting wide receiver twos? Are they just collecting wide receiver twos? Is he, okay, yeah, maybe he's an upgrade. Maybe he's an upgrade over, Demario Douglas, Kayshon Boutte.
I mean,
but is he a significant upgrade?
By the amount of snaps he's put in over there in Green Bay, like he was treated as the wide receiver one. He was the only one that wasn't coming off the field. So
that's because Matt LaFleur refused to acknowledge that they had one.
I mean, they all got whispered in their ear they're the wide receiver one because we've all seen them crash out in some sort of fashion that, wait, I'm the wide receiver one. Like, all right. But I think him going to New England, yes, that puts him as a wide receiver one in that room. Because, again, we like Mac Hollins, we like Kayshon Boutte, we love Pop Douglas, but, like, they needed somebody to have that actual presence and experience as an actual one on a team. So I think this is really good for Romeo Doubs to be, at least in the consideration to have a high-end wide receiver 2 tag on him.
Sorry, I'm looking at it.
I still am excited by this move.
I like it. Some people don't
He
like
could be
it,
the
but
X.
you can't really hate it, though.
I don't hate it. I just wonder if we're getting ourselves a little too gassed up about it.
Gassed up to what price, though? Like, what are you seeing or hearing? Like, what do you feel like?
I don't know, but everybody's just like immediate because we have been so wishful, hopeful of the Patriots signing a wide receiver, and they finally did it. I mean, sort of like the way, and maybe this is an extreme example, but sort of like we were like, hey man, the Packers spent a first round pick on a wide receiver, but it was Matthew Golden, and it turned out to, at least in year one, be nothing. Like, is this that?
I think it depends on the expectations you have for Doubs, but I do think Doubs could put up, like, it wouldn't surprise me at all if he has a career year this next season because, yes, he never left the field in Green Bay, but they always had a very crowded room there, right? Like, they have Tucker Kraft, and then there's Watson and all these other receivers. And on top of that, they were like a bottom 3 pass play team the last couple of years. So like they've run the ball at such a high rate that I think it made his numbers not look great, but on like a per target basis and stuff, he's a quality receiver, I think. And I think he could be the possession guy for them, but he could like Matt Collins is a field stretcher. Kayshon Boutte is a field stretcher. Pop Douglas is a slot guy. Like we know that at this point. I think Doubs comes in as their best true X, but I also would not be surprised at all if they use a premium pick in the draft on a receiver.
I just saw this as you guys were talking. The Colts have put out a tweet basically saying Daniel Jones is their QB1. You know,
it's him looking like The Rock. He said he'll be ready for week 1.
I mean,
right.
Yeah, he's doing the
Cool.
can you smell what The Rock is cooking whole thing. Like,
but if Riley Leonard starts week 1 because
Don't bring it back.
Play,
Don't bring it
very
back.
different.
We'll spend another
we don't have time.
18 minutes on this. Don't
we
do
really
it.
don't have time.
I will go back in the bag. Stop.
If Matthew Stafford's back hurts
Florio.
and Stetson Bennett plays week 1, he's the starter? He's better?
We've lost LaQuan. He's walked away.
Stop, bro.
Speaking of QB1s or former QB1s, the Raiders did send Geno Smith to the New York Jetropolitans. Pete Carroll came out and says he takes the blame for Geno Smith struggling, which is very diplomatic of him. I mean, he very easily could have just thrown Chip Kelly under the bus because that offense was terrible.
Yeah.
I know Geno's excited about it. He says he's going to, sort of reestablish his relationship with the New York fans because that ended really badly because Geno didn't play well. Florio, you have, friends who are Jets fans. I mean, I don't know what the pulse is of Jets Nation. And my question is to you is Geno, was last year just a bad situation or is it that Geno's kind of washed now?
My Jet fan friends are happy with this move because they think it's better than the alternatives. And I agree. I think Geno was the best possible realistic scenario for the Jets. As for is he truly washed? I don't think we have a full answer on that because yes, he didn't look great at all last year. He led the league in turnover in interceptions and stuff, but the O-line was all-time bad. They fired their OC mid-season. Brock Bowers was out a whole bunch of time, which left Trey Tucker as their one. Like there is a world where I could see Geno Smith playing, he's not going to set the world on fire, but could he play like how he did towards the end of his Seattle tenure in New York? I think so. I also think if you're just putting a fantasy spin on this for the Jets, he was significantly better last year on passes out wide and downfield than either Tyrod Taylor or Justin Fields. So if you're Garrett Wilson or if you're invested in Garrett Wilson, I think that is a good thing for him. And he was also dumping the ball off at an extremely high rate, which if they continue to do that, could mean a lot more dump offs for Breece Hall. So while I don't want anything to do with Geno Smith for fantasy, I do think the situation improved. And I'm probably not I'll tell you today, I'm probably not going to be in on Wilson or Breece Hall at cost, but I do think if you are, this is better for them than what they had last season.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where it ends up, right? It's better than what they had last season, for whatever that's worth. Was it last year where they went with Justin Fields, Tyrod Taylor, Brady Cook?
Tyrod.
Breece Hall threw a touchdown pass. Yeah, so
I forgot about Brady Cook, man. Poof.
I mean,
My mind just warped that out.
there was not much reason for you to really.
Because Wilson
You know who
was
played
like
better?
Brady Cook.
But you know who played better though, and like made the gap? Riley Leonard. He put the gap between him, JJ McCarthy. I think Riley Leonard was probably one of the best quarterback rookies to play, and then debut as a starter. I'm just saying.
One of the best quarterback rookies to play. I mean, how many rookie quarterbacks?
Last season.
I know. I'm trying to think like how many rookies
was in there. Shador got in there. Dylan Gabriel got in there. I think Riley looked better. Just saying.
Game and a half. Look, I don't want to knock the guy. He looked good.
Oh my God. You of all people, Florio, I would think you'll be on the Riley train. I thought you would be a big believer of Riley.
It's not that
He's
I'm not.
mobile.
It's that I think you're hyping him up to a level that is just too far right now.
Nah, man.
I mean,
I've done this before. I've stood on this stage and there's nobody in the audience listening of what I'm talking about. And then I end up right. Who was listening in February about Harrison Jr. to be a top 5 tight end? And here we are. Top 5.
yeah, so we didn't argue with you about that. We were just like,
I really like
there were
Fannin as
plenty
a
of
prospect.
people. Go to the thread. There was plenty of people, and he didn't even have a team yet. Like, come on. Stop.
By the way, if we're just keeping it a buck, Quinn Ewers had more passing yards in fewer games than Riley Leonard.
Oof.
Here you go. You went digging.
I mean, look, you got to sit out. You got to throw things out there. Like we got to back it up with factuals. I'm just
came
just
in
saying.
against Houston, the big bat of the South, put up 270 and 3 touchdowns. Stop.
It was a good game.
That was also the same. That was the same logic that we tried to use to like pretend that Jarrett Stidham could make it a game against the Patriots in the AFC Championship.
There was a stretch where Tommy DeVito looked like a future QB1.
I mean, look, Riley Leonard.
Tommy Cutlets.
Riley Leonard can be
My
a
guy got a
quality
deal.
backup.
He got paid. Yes, go.
Riley Leonard can be a quality backup for the Colts, but he's going to be the backup.
Eventual
stop,
starter.
Period. End of story. Like that's it. And he's the starter when something happens to Daniel Jones or Daniel Jones leaves via free agency and he's still there. But no, he's not just going to. Anyway, we're done with that.
I'm really curious where Anthony Richardson ends up.
It's hard to say winners and losers at this point, right? Things are still going to happen. There'll still be a few more signings. We still have the draft coming. But maybe this is like, what does this mean for certain guys who are in certain spots already? And part of what inspired this was, Florio, you mentioned in our text chat that you were on the Insiders, and you were saying that you really don't like what Malik Willis means for Devon Achane. So I would love to hear your I have no feeling about it one way or another. I just want to hear your reasoning for it.
Yeah, Devon Achane is someone that the last 2 years I have been enamored with, and I think he's an awesome player. I probably will not draft him this summer, if at all. Because I still think he's going to cost, a top 5 running back price. And I think on one hand, losing Mike McDaniel is huge. Mike McDaniel had a very good run scheme. He had drew up a lot of design pass plays for Devon Achane, and the pass plays are what really worry me because over the last 2 years, Tua threw 20% of his passes to the backfield, second highest rate in the NFL. In that same sample size, I know he didn't play as much as Tua, but Willis threw 8% of his passes to running backs. That was the lowest amount in the NFL. And over the last 2 years, no running back has more catches than Devon Achane, and only Bijan and Gibbs have more receiving yards. So I think it's possible that there's just going to be more design stuff for him because he's so good. So Willis's percent could go up. It's never going to be anywhere near 20%. He's going to be one of those quarterbacks, in my opinion, that if he feels pressure, instead of Tua, who would be like, where's Achane? Let me get rid of it. He's going to use his legs and extend the play. And on top of that, Achane had one goal line look last year. You got to worry about the tush push now coming. But if he's catches goes down, right? Like there's 2 ways I think of having success as a running back in fantasy, like top 5 success. You got to either catch a lot of passes or score a lot of touchdowns. And if the passes are going to go down, I'm not certain the touchdowns are going to be there. Like it to me, it just adds a whole lot of risk. And look, if everyone else feels the same way I do and his price drops, then I'll reassess. But I'm still viewing him as if he's going to be one of the premium running backs going off the board. And I just think there's too much risk there right now for me.
So I think it's funny because when we first talked about Tua, getting released and then going to the Falcons, the thing that we all said was, man, Bijan's going to get so many targets right, because of that.
It's going to eat.
Right, and so this is sort of, I guess, the reverse side, right? It's the flip side of that coin, that now you have a quarterback who is mobile, who is probably likely, instead of having panic targets going toward Devon Achane, Malik Wilson's like, you know what, F it, I'll just take it myself. Because like, either I can run for these 5 yards or I can dump it off to Devon Achane.
You know what I think happens though? Like, I think Achane gets dropped to that tier wherever Kyron Williams is, right? Because, like, he is going to lose catches. And we got to understand, like, the Dolphins, when they got in striking distance, they like to throw the ball to their running backs. And if he's going to lose that aspect of his game, too, it's like he wasn't that great or had that many opportunities and, in striking distance within the 5-yard line. And they have Ollie Gordon there as well, who's a bigger body back, who I think can handle that duty as well. So if we're going to have to deal with a version of a tush push with Malik, like, what do we call that? Like, I don't know. Like,
I don't know. Do you think they do that? One, just it feels like that is a fad that's sort of passing a little bit, but also
it's not going away. So it gives it more
Malik
time
Wilson
to
is
master.
not the biggest guy.
No,
maybe it's not a tush push, but I could see design runs near the goal line for him.
Exactly. I think there's obviously a plan for him to keep him safe, but at the end of the day, I think Devon Achane, I'm more so excited for what it's going to look like, having to worry about a Malik Willis and then a Devon Achane in the run game. Like, I still think Achane has that home run ability, obviously. Like, he's still going to have those type of games where he's going to have like 100 plus on the ground and maybe a touchdown or two that he ran back or caught back. Like, I feel at the end of the day, he should drop down to that late second round, because if he's going as one of these top 5 running backs, then you're taking him over James Cook. You're taking him over Derrick Henry. Like, Jonathan Taylor is still in conversation as a top 5 back. Like, I think at the end of the day, like, he may be cheap enough to where I'm still automatically in. I don't think I'm going to like fade him if he falls to me in that, range.
No, I don't think you fade him, but I think it is a matter of like where, like, would you be taking him if he was still going, mid to late first round?
No, I don't think we could put him there, because you got CMC, Gibbs, Bijan. That's 3 running backs there. And then you have Jonathan Taylor or James Cook. I think that's my top 5.
I pulled up the Fantasy Pros early rankings. He's the RB5.
Over Cook?
Over Cook, yeah. Over Genty, Hampton, and then Kyron is RB17. I don't think he's going to fall that far at all.
Wow, that's...
yeah, I love
why
that.
Why are you excited? You don't even like Kyron Williams.
Yeah,
oh, here you
got
go.
Kyron RB55.
You don't even like Kyron Williams.
No, I don't.
Like, really? You're gonna be hyping up whoever the Rams taking in the 6th round.
He has not dropped the ball. That was the main focus. He took this offseason to put the work in to hold on to the ball. He has been forgiven.
All right.
Stop.
Cool. All right, cool. A quick update, guys. Trey Hendrickson has passed his physical. So
I was kind of hoping he didn't.
He is officially.
They didn't even have a physical
Raven right now.
They didn't have one. Just come in. You're good.
Michael Pittman is now in Pittsburgh. LaQuan, what do you feel like that means for him? Does anything really change? Does it get better, worse? How you feeling?
It's okay. Let's see how it works with a DK Metcalf, because I think when we look at this move, it's like, okay, now Rodgers has a actual, second option in an offense he could rely on in the wide receiver room. Like, I know Calvin Austin was cool. Ben Skoranek was great as a run blocker, but at the end of the day, they need somebody to operate as a possession receiver for him, like as a number 2 to a DK Metcalf, where he still has that explosiveness. He can make the big plays. Like, he'll have those spike weeks, but at the end of the day, I'm not excited for Pittman himself, because it's not like he's about to get wide receiver 1 target share. He's about to get wide receiver 2 target share. A lot of what we saw last year because of Warren, because of, Alec Pierce. So, like, he's just going to be he's my wide receiver 3. I hope I can throw him in a flex and he puts up more than 10 fantasy points.
I think he can get wide receiver 1 target share in the context of the Steelers offense. Like, I think Metcalf and Pittman can kind of be a 1A, 1B. It's just that within the context of that offense, it's going to be really unsatisfying, right? Like, if they're both somewhere around 90 targets each, right? Like, I can see them.
By the way,
No, I'm fully you on it, right? But like, they're about each around 90 targets. I could see them with, somewhere between 800, 900 yards. Like, it's just going to be terrible. They're both going to be guys that
awful.
But they're both going to be guys that are not, they're going to be those sort of purgatory players, right? They're not good enough that you feel great with them in your lineup, but they're not bad enough that you're dropping them.
Which is why I want absolutely no part of them.
And then why are we drafting them?
And then when you try to put them in a trade, people are going to be like, no.
You're going to have to come better than that.
Right? It's just like, they're going to be the sweeteners to the deal. It's like, hey, let's go with this guy for that guy. I'll give you DK Metcalf. You'd be like,
I'm okay.
No
deal.
I'm not taking any Steeler. I've pretty much already decided that.
I'm taking Rico. I'm on the Rico train now.
If I was to take one, it would probably be him.
Yeah,
because he's going to be cheaper than Warren. Warren still has this.
Oh, you think so? I don't think so.
I think Warren goes before him in drafts. Yeah. Because of the PPR aspect of it. Like, maybe Warren's still going to have that passing games.
Maybe it's because I've drafted Jalen Warren the last couple of years and been underwhelmed. And I'm like,
Yeah, see.
I can't do it again.
No. I can't do it again. Warren goes before Rico, but I'm in on Rico.
I mean, if Rico's going later, then sure. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I guess probably anyway, but especially if he's going later.
Yeah. Probably a couple picks around. But as soon as Warren goes off the board, I already know, like, okay, I can get
Wan'Dale Robinson going to Tennessee. LaQuan, you are the one that you always mention Calvin Ridley. I know I think you're wishing that he comes back to fantasy relevance. Does this help or hurt having Wan'Dale there?
I mean, I think Wan'Dale isn't a signing that's gonna like completely shut the door on Calvin Ridley. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be a wide receiver too, in the sense that the Titans can hit the draft. I mean, they could figure out something with Calvin Ridley if he's staying as the one. Like, I think he's more so of like, they need somebody that can catch the ball, create yards after the catch, be a reliable target for our young quarterback that's developing, because all we want is for Cam Ward to complete the ball. So I think Wan'Dale gives them the best opportunity of that, but like, I don't see him being like, yeah, we got Wan'Dale, let's get rid of Calvin Ridley. I think, again, you could still figure out a way to use Ridley because he's still quick. He's still great in his route running. Like, it's just that the chemistry and up and down roller coaster, the injury, it just was a bad season for Ridley.
Yeah, except we're starting to compile bad seasons now for Calvin Ridley. But starting to accumulate.
As a fellow huge Ridley believer, I think Wan'Dale was like best case, like, because he's going to be in the slot most of the time. They do different things, like Ridley's more of a field stretcher than he is a move the chain kind of guy. But I think the Titans, because most of their moves this offseason so far have gone to the defensive side, I think they're going to add a lot defensively in free agency and then a lot offensively in the draft. So I don't think he's out the clear by any means yet.
Yeah. Part of it obviously is him getting healthy. Just played 7 games last year, and
Calvin Ridley or Brandon Ayuk.
If it's Ayuk with the Commanders,
Ayuk.
Nah, we're talking current right now with the 49ers.
Ayuk.
He will play for the 49ers.
I mean, is he actually going to suit up and be on the field? Because like, if he's on the field, yes. The assumption in your question is that they are both playing and healthy.
Or is it?
Ayuk, yes. Then it's Ayuk all day. Like, what are we talking about?
Both are a mystery, man. We'll see.
Last one. This is going to be really, really long, but Florio, Woody Marks, is it kind of RIP with David Montgomery in Houston?
Yeah, I want no part of it. I think he'll still be like the pass catching back because that's not Monty's strength. But look, they replaced Titus Howard with a worse version of him. I don't want anything to do with Houston. Obviously, Nico Collins is someone that I'm interested in because he's Nico Collins. Like Jaden Higgins, Noel, I see the upside there with them, but it's hard for me to look past the last 2 years with CJ Stroud and the declining O-line play. And the fact that I think they're going to run the ball more this year than they did last year because they have a better running back now on the roster. Maybe the draft will lead me to change my opinion, but as of today, I'm like, the Texans, I think, are going to be what they were last year, a team that wants to play low-scoring games, let their defense win, and they ask the offense to do just enough to win and not mess it up for them.
Yeah. Playoffs.
I mean, they'll go to playoffs. In that division, they're still
They'll
a
win a
good chance
game.
to go to
They win a playoff game every year.
And that's the thing. I mean, their defense is amazing, right? I mean, they are one of the top 3-4 defenses in the NFL. Their offense is just good enough for them to win games, and so like they can very easily win that division.
Oh my God, is that Riley Leonard's music?
Okay.
Florio's face.
I liked it. I thought that was well done.
All right, man. Before we get out of here, LaQuan, your favorite or least favorite moves of free agency so far?
Chigakonko to the Commanders. I honestly think that was such a great move. And no, listen. I have not come down to who will be crowned the Blonde Bandit this year for me, okay? Top 5 in blonde. All right.
I have questions, and I know we're kind of getting a little long, but I have questions. My first one being, do you like dyeing your hair blonde? Like, is this a thing you want to do? Like, well, that's fine. If that's the lifestyle you choose, like, that's fine.
I have come to the idea that, yes, I want to do it because it shows, like, hey, I hit on John New, go blonde. Hey, look at me. I did this to myself because I went blonde because I was right on this call. To do it back-to-back years with the Harold Fannin Jr., then yes, I have to make this a spectacle. I have to make this like, hey, why is this guy's hair blonde? But because he projected a top 5 tight end outside the echo chamber. Yes.
Okay, but so that's my next question though, is like the way you frame it, like you frame it as though the blonde is a punishment. Like it was at first.
I didn't want to do it the first time with Janu, but Fannin, I wear it with pride now. It's going to be one of the things that I do every year where I have to find the tight end that nobody believes in, that nobody's talking about, and they smash. And the reward will be the blonde hair. And it's only going to be for a couple weeks that I have it blonde. This is not going to be the permanent, it overlaps and keep my hair blonde. No, it's I
definitely think he's wanted to have blonde hair for a bit.
Yeah,
now.
like if you just want to go blonde, I mean that's a thing that you got to work that out. Obviously, with your lovely wife.
It originated from Joe Burrow going blonde.
You know what it is, Marcus? His lovely wife doesn't want him to have blonde hair, and now he can blame us and be like, "Well, it's not me." Even though it is 100% him.
I said it on the podcast. I got to do it now, babe. Blah. Like, I just think if you want to go blonde, just go blonde. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's fine.
Chig has upside, though. Let's be honest. I mean, with Jaden Daniels, we saw what Zach Ertz was able to do in 24. And again, the touchdown opportunities. Like, his ability after the catch is cut from the John New DNA. Like, it's one of the things where it's like you're giving him opportunity to score touchdowns now. Yeah, I'm going to be bought into the talent, into the situation. Like, I understand that a lot of folks out there think about Bensonette or Bensonot. I don't know how to pronounce it.
No, I think that's done. I think that's done.
It's pretty much done now because this shows like a 3-year contract. Chiggs is very athletic type of tight end. Yeah, I think they're going to have fun.
So does it mean you're breaking up with Rondé Gadsden? Is that it?
I don't know yet. It's between. Look, this might sound crazy too. This third one that because of the Chiggs move, Gunnar Helm, man, Gunnar Helm. Chiggs and Rondé Gaskins are in the pot right now for top 5 in blonde.
Interesting. All right. Florio, favorite or least favorite move so far?
Of free agency, I really like Mike Evans going to the 49ers. It happened before it, though, and I'm going to take the different angle than you would think. The DJ Moore trade, but I'm so excited for Luther Burden. Like, I can't wait to watch him be set free and just get to be used all over. Like, I think he is just a tool, like a piece that you want to generate as many touches for. Downfield, ball in his hands after the catch. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up leading the Bears in receiving yards this year. That like, I know that's a big bold take to throw out there right now. It's March. I'm not like standing on it, but I think that is in the range of his outcome.
Mine's Travis Etienne going to New Orleans. I think that's going to be huge.
That's your favorite?
That is my favorite. Yeah, that's my favorite so far because the Saints are, I don't know if they're a playoff team, but they're going to be in enough contention. I think they're going to be in games enough because what you want those running backs, obviously, that get a heavy workload, but also those running backs that are on the field in the 2-minute drill that can catch the football. Because, man, I mean, like prime Austin Eckler at the end of halves or games, he could go from having like 8 points to like 17 points because he just got a couple of quick dump offs in the 2-minute drill. And I feel like Travis Etienne can do that for an offense that, again, maybe they win 6 games, 7 games, but they're in enough games and they're close enough that he's getting those opportunities and racking up those cheap points. I mean, I guess since we're living in a world where 1 catch equals 10 yards or whatever, if we're going to live in that world, then, I wish society could be a little bit better, but you participate in society. I am very smart. Like that's what I'm doing right here with Travis Etienne. So there it is. All right. Anything else to add, fellas, before we
Riley Leonard.
Riley Leonard. I should have seen that coming. Should have absolutely seen that coming. Next week, I'm gonna have some. We're efforting some special guests, some things that are maybe a little bit out of the ordinary. Gonna talk a little bit more analytics, especially kind of off the beaten path about maybe some strategies that teams are employing in their offenses and how you might be able to employ that in your fantasy life as well. So stick around for that next week coming up on the show. In the meantime, that will do it for this edition of the NFL Fantasy Football Podcast. Stay happy, safe, and healthy. Do good and live well. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you again on Tuesday.